Harry, sometimes I get asked, what's the Christian take on dinosaurs? How come we don't see them in the Bible? But today we're going to read in Job chapter 40 from verse 15 to 19. It says this: Look at Behemoth, which I made along with you, and which feeds on grass like an ox. What strength it has in its loins, what power in the muscles of its belly. Its tail will sway like a cedar. The sinews of its thighs are close knit. Its bones are tubes of bronze. Its limbs like rod of iron. It ranks first among the works of God, yet its maker can approach it with his sword. Go ahead, Harry.
Yeah, so God is here speaking to his friend Job. What is God describing here? It's called the behemoth by God. He says it feeds on grass like an ox, extremely powerful. His tail sways like a cedar tree. His bones are like tubes of bronze, and his limbs are like rods of iron. This animal, God says, ranks first among the works of God. Does this description seem like a dinosaur? So when did this story take place? We don't really know, but it seems to fit in at the time of Abraham, about 4,000 years ago. When was it written? My belief, in Moses' time. Why? Because chapters 1 and 2 plus chapters 3 to 42 were God speaking to Satan and then to Job. It would need divine teaching to be passed on. We know that Genesis was dictated by God to Moses, plus God gave Moses all the covenant teachings directly. The only simple and clear explanation for the book of Job is the same. Sorry, back to the topic. The whole next chapter gets even better. This time it is called the Leviathan, a true terror made by God. Verses 1 to 13 describe how dangerous it is. But Justin, I want you to read 14 to 24 and then tell me what it is.
All right. Who dares open the doors of its mouth, ringe the belt with fearsome teeth? Its back has rows of shields tightly sealed together. Each is so close to the next that no air can pass between. They are joined fast to one another. They cling together and cannot be parted. Its snorting throws out flashes of light. Its eyes are like rays of dawn. Flames stream from its mouth. Sparks of fire shoot out. Smoke pours from its nostrils as from a boiling pot over burning reeds. Its breath sets coals ablaze, and flames dart from its mouth. Strength resides in its neck. Dismay goes before it. The folds of its flesh are tightly joined. They are firm and immovable. Its chest is hard as rock, hard as a lower millstone. That definitely sounds like a dragon to me.
Were they real? Uh, Make sure you read the book of this Job, this chapter 41, all 23 verses of it for your own reading. Why? Because God loved the glory of this beast. And two, God wanted us today to know that these animals existed in days past when we find the skeletons. How many millions of years ago was that? No, actually only 4,000 years ago, written about 3,500 years ago. These two creatures were on the ark. The flood was only 400 years before this story. How could you fit these two massive creatures on the ark? Actually, baby dragons work just fine. They can grow later. So why don't these animals exist today? God's focus has always been on humanity, and all the creatures on earth were placed there for our benefit. As human population expanded, the animal habitat shrank, as we know. The dinosaurs, a name developed 150 years ago, plus many other creatures have become extinct over the years. Yes, the Bible is a God book to teach us what God expected from his people in great detail so we can get right with God. But in all this, it is also the greatest history book ever written, covering the whole 6,000 years since creation.
Awesome. And you know, Harry, there's another movie on YouTube that's free to watch. It's called Is Genesis History? and they go into great detail about this topic that we're discussing. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it in the comments below. If anybody wants to watch that video, there'll be a link there, so it'll be easy for you guys to find. Any final thoughts, Harry?
No, that's good. I just really like these two chapters. So really worth a read, folks. And and yeah, the bones are there. Even the dinosaurs. They actually found some dinosaurs that actually still have blood vessels
I
in
know.
the marrow and all that. But you'll get all that information on that movie. So we can't cover that in 8 minutes here.
No.
But but there's it's this is real. And yeah, it was real, and it was on the ark. And so yeah, just read it.
Amen. Thanks, Harry.
Thanks.